welcome back. So there's many types of meditation. You know, you have to find the one that really works for you. Why would you bother even spending time sitting down doing nothing? Because that's what it looks like to many people. Why would I bother wasting time when I could be watching a movie? When really, there's so much more going on. The types of experiences you can have within yourself will eclipse any experience you may actually have outside of yourself. And I say that with my own knowledge, and the only way I can give that to you is by actually letting you access that within yourself. It's such an amazing experience to unlock this happiness within inside yourself and not need the experience of being and doing to actually feel happy. It's literally you find your own internal happiness so you can give that to other people by expressing yourself, because you are just having a good day. You're just having a good day. So meditation in itself is very broad. It has a lot of spectrums about what you can do. You know, there's transcendental meditation, there is mindful meditation, and there's so much more. But I guess the one I like to focus on is the mindfulness. It's actually meditating most of the day, let's say. You're actually spending more time internally analyzing yourself, knowing that you're okay within here, within your chest, within your space of emotions, and then broadcasting out that to people, so then you can actually access different states of experience with people. Because when you unlock that within yourself, it starts to unlock other people's experiences as well. They actually open up more. They're less rigid within their expression of how they would deal with you, because you change. You literally change altogether. You know, you ask questions because you're more curious about what people have to say, and you're not stuck behind this box of they're really boring. Because most of your experience you can have with people sometimes are just really boring people to you when you actually don't have any sort of connection with them, with things you like and things in common with that person. And you can find you can unlock a new direction for interacting with people when you're not stuck within that box of this is who they are to me. This is why I wouldn't be bothered talking to them. It changes that direction. A lot of emotions are just reactionary responses. We react to the environment and the experience we're having in the present moment. And that's always defined by our past, because every thought we can have is not really necessarily a new thought based on what's happening to us. You know, a lot of thoughts are rehashed because they're based on previous emotions. Emotions bring up the thoughts we've previously had, which rerun the wiring we're having. They rerun the experience over and over in our heads, which literally creates a kind of an internal hell space of anxiety, fear, frustration, and all the things you don't really enjoy. So we literally create this mini hell within ourselves of replaying those experiences we hate or we don't like, or we've had a terrible day, and we keep coming home and rerunning how we would fight that person in our minds, because we think once we find the perfect scenario to fight them, we will feel good. But really, you're just spending the whole time feeling not so good. So a lot of our time is spent rehashing stuff we've already done, or creating that experience with ourselves that really wastes our energy. We actually spend more time worrying about and being angry with other people and frustrated with the experience that we've had, when we're actually trying to relax, or when we're trying to get something done. And it really distracts our focus from that present moment into the past or future about what we are going to do and how we're going to get back at people because they've done something wrong to us. And really the only reason they could have done something wrong to us is because we acted a certain way to them, and then it creates this sort of mirror rivalry where I'm going to hurt you, so I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to hurt you, and then it never ends almost. It's like this perpetual motion of fear, anger, anxiety that you're both throwing at each other basically every day. You know, you go into work and you're like, ah, you did this to me and you did this to me. When really, if you just switched out of that mode, you just go, nah, I can't, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to feel good. I want to feel happy. I'm just going to smile at you and see what happens. You know, changing how you interact affects other people, and then their reflection of your actions really changes how they act to you, which is amazing. It changes so much within yourself, it changes so much within them, and you grow and expand into more happiness, which is just amazing. That's what you really want to do. Why would you want to have anything apart from happiness within your life? You know, it's, you know, that love experience of loving life, of enjoying what you're doing, having purpose behind where you're going. Those are the key points I find within myself that help me become more passionate for other people. You know, having that self-love really helps me love other people just as much. You know, I accept myself, and then I can accept others just as much. And this may not be your direction, it just may be something that you can find useful within your experience. So, within the body, you have your emotional spectrum. You know, where does your emotions lie? Where are you sitting in right now? What level of your body emotionally are you sitting in? So, I want to bring awareness to your body. Your emotions sit in different parts of the body. A lot of these emotions sit in the lower three. And these parts are designated by actual glands within the body. And this is where you're feeling the drugs, the chemicals within your body. Let's say, you know, you have your reproduction area, and you have your gut, your stomach, your tum-tum. What do I feel? You know, a lot of anxiety and fear is based on those. A lot of anger and hatred sits in the heart space, in the chest, and around the head, in the head. And you will become aware of these within your own time, within your own learning, within your own growth. But I would like to give you a sort of a lift up in understanding where these could be. And having an attention of these means you have the awareness of them, which means then you know that they're happening. Instead of having a reactionary response to what's happening to you, you get to actually change the reaction in the moment, which means you have a choice. You have a choice how you react to people. Even if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling pissed off by that person, changing the reaction physically changes the responses within other people. Magical. Just magical. It changes lots of things for you. Let's run through a scenario. You're at work. You know, you got that person that really bugs you all the time. They're always saying stupid things or making you work more harder than, you know, they work. You feel like you work harder than they do, and they just put all their junk, all their work onto you. Just a scenario. And every time they say something to you, you react in a snarky comment. You know, it's like, oh, why would you do this? We need to do this. And you have this sort of emotive expression that puts them on edge and stresses them out, or it makes them more angry within themselves, and then they react the same way back to you. And you go, well, that person's just not very nice. They're just not a nice person. And then you define that person within your box as being that way, and they're not any different. They're just a not very nice person. When you shift your reactionary response to them, you know, just changing your response because you know you want to, you know how this changes your experience. So when you're sitting in that reactionary response, you're creating a reaction from other people. Because if you can't change your reactions to other people, you're going to get the same reaction. Every time you do the same thing the same way, every time you think about the same thing the same way, you're going to get the same response. It's like a computer algorithm. You run the same algorithm over and over and over and over and over, you're going to get the same response based on that algorithm. And that algorithm is your wiring. That is your predetermined wiring that you've made into your, you have put into your subconscious, into your habitual wiring, which then defines what your reaction is. You know, if you want to change your reaction in the moment, whether or not it's with the cravings, if you want to stop craving foods in the way that you know they're not good for you, you know, you don't want to eat that thing, but for some reason you just can't not. It's right there. It's right there. I want it so badly. How do you change that reaction response of just, nope, I don't buy it, even though I'm craving it? And then after you slowly shift away from it more, it's just not so much of a craving for you. It's not so much of a desire to need it. It's not part of your life so intensely then. So changing the reaction response, whether or not it's cravings, whether or not it's in all these things, really defines what actually happens. The response to things is so important because that's your experience. And only can you change your experience from the present moment. Every time we go back into the past and bring it into the present, it changes our future, or literally just keeps it the same. And once you've changed your reactionary response in the present moment, that's what changes the future. That's what changes the direction you're heading in. You know, whether or not you snap back at your partner because they've said the thing that pisses you off. It's such a broad spectrum of things you can apply this to, that it's can really have a difference within your life. So I just want to leave you with those awarenesses. I want to leave you with that box of frame of reference that you may have put yourself in. I agree, not everyone's the same as me, and I haven't experienced everyone else's life. So only take what resonates with you. Only use what you can, what feels good for you. You know, if none of this works for you and it's doesn't, you know, it's a bit, you know, so, then just take what you want and leave what doesn't work for you. Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you for spending the time to watch this video, and I hope some of this has helped you in some way. Like, subscribe, anything that feels right, and yeah, leave some comments if you feel drawn to, and I'll talk to you later. Have a fantastic afternoon, day, night, wherever you are.